Second active workshop. Let's build together a prayer for the unity of the world, clay and peace in the world. Let's build together a prayer for the unity of the world, CLE, and peace in the world. Thank you. You are peace, so when we connect, the formation of you will bring that peace to the world. Thank you, Creator, for another day of bringing the friends together, for our opportunity to connect in one heart as one world, clear to be united. Amen. Prayer of the friends. Dear Creator, we are grateful for allowing us to be your partners and bring your light to the whole of humanity. With one heart we ask for true spiritual lack. Help us feel the desire to receive as the only force that distances us from you. Help us anal ourselves constantly before our friends. Help us to love the friends as you love us, in order to be merciful and perfect as you are. Friends, in case of a red alert, please leave the study hall on either side and take the stairs down to the dining hall. Shalom. Hello, we are reading in the Writing of Abash, Volume 3, page 30. Article: All of Israel have a part in the next world. The study material is on the site and the art system. You can send questions live through the sites. Anyone asking a question in the study hall should stand up, hold the microphone close to his mouth, and speak loudly and clearly. The Writings of Rash, Volume 3, page 30. All of Israel have a part in the next world. It is written in the Z. No, come and see. All of Israel have a part in the next world. It asks what is the reason. It says because they keep the covenant on which the world stands, as it is written, if my covenant is not day and night, I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth. There Israel who are keeping the covenant because they have tacked it upon themselves have a part in the next world. We should understand, since first he says all of Israel have a part, meaning that anyone who is called by the name Israel without any preconditions has a part in the next world. But afterwards he interprets that not all of Israel, rather he sets conditions that only those who are keeping the covenant. He brings evidence from the verse that it refers to the keepers of the covenant by what is written, if my covenant is not day and night, I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth. We should also understand that the verse, if my covenant is not day and night, refers to the covenant. It is written in Elazar, said not for the Torah, heaven and earth would not exist, as it is said, if my covenant is not day and night, I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth. Interprets if my covenant is not day and night to mean that the study of Torah, of which it is written, and you shall contemplate it day and night. Therefore it means that the covenant is called T, and here the Z interprets that a covenant is circumcision, which keeps the covenant concerning Abraham's making of the covenant, as it is written, and made the covenant with him. Our sages explained that the Creator helped the making of the covenant, for he could not make the covenant alone, rather the Creator helped him. We should understand what it means in the work that he could not make the covenant without the Creator's help. Is written concerning Abraham, and the two of them made a covenant. Asked if two people understand that it is worthwhile for them to love one another, why should they make a covenant? How does an act of seemingly signing a contract help? What does it give us then? He said it gives us that when we make a covenant, we mean that since it is possible that something might separate them, they are making a covenant now, so that just as now they understand that there is love and equivalence between Them this covenant will persist even if afterwards things will come that should separate them. The connection they are establishing now will be permanent. Accordingly, we should say that if afterwards things will come should separate them, we should say each one should go above reason and say that they will not notice what they see within reason but go above reason. Only in this way can the covenant hold, and there will be no separation between them. It therefore follows that whether we say that the covenant is the T or that the covenant is circumcision, it does not mean that only this gives the covenant with the Creator, that his covenant with the Creator will not part, meaning that his heart will be whole with the Creator. Rather, both the Torah and the circumcision come to keep the making of the covenant, where a person's heart must be whole with the Creator and cling to him with a stake that will never fall, as it is written, if my is not day and night, I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth. This is so because the matter of the creation of heaven and earth was with the intention to do good to his creations, and the creatures cannot receive the delight and pleasure without equivalence of form, meaning that all his actions will be in order to bestow, otherwise there will be separation between the creatures and the Creator. This is why we were given two covenants, the circumcision and the covenant of the Torah, by which we can come to make a covenant with the Creator with faith above reason, and will be able to do everything in order to bestow. This is the meaning of if my covenant is not, meaning if I did not create the counsels by which to achieve equivalence of form, would not be possible to receive the delight and pleasure which is the whole purpose of creation, to do good to his creations. And if I did not prepare the ways by which to achieve equivalence of form, I would not need to create heaven and earth, for they would not be able to receive any benefit from creation, and the whole of creation would be pointless, because there would not be anyone who could enjoy it. On this covenant that he made, the covenant of the stake that will never fall, Abraham needed his help. This is the meaning of the Creator having to help him, and this is the meaning of and made a covenant with him, meaning that the Creator helped him be able to go above reason. There are three discernments to make in the work above reason. One, he does not feel any lack in his work so as to have a need to go above reason. He feels his deficiency, but he as a female, meaning as feeble as a female, having no strength to overcome and go above reason. 3, he is regarded as a male. This means that he has the strength to go to overcome and go above reason. For example, when a person wants to rise before dawn and is woken up, sometimes person hears but does not pay attention and keeps sleeping at that time. There is no one who feels his deficiency because he immediately fell asleep and therefore had no time to think of his deficiency. For this reason he is still not regarded as a human being, where it is possible to distinguish between male and female. Man or human comes from the words is man of the earth, meaning that he is tilling the land so as to yield crops and fruits to sustain people. This can be said only of one who feels his deficiency, who begins to work and correct his deficiency. However, when one does not feel his deficiency, there is no one to speak of that is, even if tell him his deficiency, he will not hear, because he has many excuses for everything. Naturally, he has no room for prayer that the Creator will help him have the ability to come out of the obstructions coming to him. When he is woken up, he begins to think, it's true that I said to my friend to wake me up when I said to my friend that I wanted to get up before done it was because I had some desire to get up and study. I craved the pleasure I would receive from the Torah, and even if I did not think that I would find great pleasure in studying Torah, I nevertheless did not have the suffering of having to get up to get out of bed and give up the pleasure of rest. When I spoke to my friend about waking me up, I was thinking only of the pleasure I could derive from studying Torah. This is why I asked him, but now that I am lying under the blanket and if there is rain and wind outside, I certainly feel pleasure in the rest, but now I have to get up. How do I know that I will receive greater pleasure from learning? For this reason it is better for me to sit and do nothing, for certainty is preferable to doubt, since the rest certainly gives me pleasure while studying Torah do not shine is pleasurable to me. However, afterward thoughts come to him. We learned that we have to go above reason, meaning not regard the amount of pleasure I will have and that this will be my gauge. Rather, we have to work for the Creator. So why am I calculating for myself, meaning how much I will gain from this? Instead, I should be calculating if the ACT I'm doing is keeping the commandment of the Creator and He enjoys my hiring Him. And why do I have thoughts of self-love? But what can I do now, since I cannot overcome my thoughts? It follows that he is regarded as a servant of the Creator who wants to overcome the alien thought, meaning that these thoughts are alien to the path of Torah. This is regarded as being a female, meaning that he is as feeble as a female, that he lacks the strength to overcome. 3. He is as a male, meaning has the strength to overcome. That is when he is woken up. If thoughts come to him, why should you get up from the rest you are enjoying? You probably think that when you get out of bed and go study, you will enjoy more than you are enjoying now. But how do you know that this is so? Plea advises him to test if this is so, but then it tells him what flavor are you now tasting in the study that you are hoping to receive later, and he immediately gets such flavors that the world grows dark on him, meaning that depictions of concealment come to him which hide from him the vitality of the Torah. Then the body asks him, tell me, are these the states you long for? If he is a man called man of war, he tells his body, everything you say is true. That is according to your view. You are right. However, the foundation on which I am building the engagement in T and MIT commandments is above reason. This means that reason mandates that the will to receive delight and pleasure will determine whether or not it is worth working for, and above reason means that he is working in order to bestow. That is, the will to receive does not need to agree to it, but the desire to bestow determines, means that if he believes that the work he wants to do now will bring contentment to the Creator, he is promptly willing to do it without any delays. And although the body claims the opposite, he still has the power to overcome it. This is called male after a person has completed these 3 discernments in the work. 1, when he still does not feel his deficiency, so is to ask the Creator to help him. 2, that he does feel his deficiency but has no strength to overcome, which is called a female. And 3, when he is a man of war, meaning that he can overcome his deficiency, he comes to a state of Shabbat, meaning rest from his work. This is called us shall work 6 days, but on the 7th day you shall rest. By this we can interpret these are the generations of Noah. Righteous man Noah is regarded as an Aramic rest in Aramic, as it is written in his own. This is why he is called righteous, since there is rest in him. There's a say where there is work, there is the side. Hence naturally one who is righteous cannot have. Work it is as said that where holiness shines a person is annulled as a candle before a torch, and it cannot be said there that the body has work because the holiness is the source of delight and pleasure. However, when a person has some grip on that, it clothes man with self love called receiving in order to receive, and on this there was a some restriction and concealment, and cannot be revealed there. Only concealment is on this place, meaning that the delight and pleasure do not shine there, but to the contrary and same, for they are our lives and the length of our days, and we contemplate then day and night, or when we say they are nicer than gold, than much fine gold, and sweeter than honey and the drippings of the honeycomb. This is when a person has proper vessels for it, which are called vessels of this dough. This gives us equivalence of form, at which time the reception of pleasures is in order to bestow, otherwise, meaning if the light and abundance illuminated in vessels of reception, the receivers would become more remote from the Creator. The purpose is that we must cling to the Creator as it is written, and you who cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. It therefore follows that one who is righteous, there is no room there for the but there is a place of rest, and rest for the spirit. There this is the meaning of Shabbat, as it is written, for in it he ceased and rested, as due to the sanctity of Shabbat. There is no room for work. Now however our sages said, the Creator said to them, fools, he who toiled on the eve of Shabbat shall eat on Shabbat. He who did not toil on the eve of Shabbat, from where will he eat on Shabbat? This means that one who toiled, meaning had labor and toil, with who obstructed him from going on the path of Lish for her sake, that during the work he felt that he could not overcome the evil in him. It is because he was still not rewarded with entering. However, he believes that as soon as he enters, the will be cancelled as a candle before a torch, and he will have no contact with it. Follows that he knows he is missing one thing for the Creator to help him and let him attain some, and then everything will be fine. During the labor and the work he prays from the bottom of the heart that the Creator will help him. At that time he feels that without help from the Creator he will not attain a thing. This feeling that he has that the Creator can help him makes a vessel in a person receive the help from the Creator, because a deficiency is called a to receive thing. For this reason the faith that he has in the Creator, that as it is written, you hear the prayer of every mouth, makes the to receive the help. By this we understand the matter of he who did not toil on the eve of Shabbat, meaning who did not work with himself to work in order to bestow, and see that he cannot win alone without the Creator's help. Naturally he has no room for prayer, which is the to receive his help, since the rule is that there is no light without a clean. We need preparation so as to have what to eat on Shabbat, for the 6 work days are the preparation to receive the light of Shabbat, and Shabbat is considered the abundance extended to fill the empty vessels awaiting his help. It is as it is written, the light in it reforms him, as it is written about Shabbat, all the judgments are impregnated by her, and none other govern all the worlds but her, since after the labor with or when they feel the deficiency called they can receive the Shabbat called ceasing and rest. Now we can understand what we asked. He says that all of Israel have a part in the next world without any conditions afterwards. He says it is specifically those who kept the covenant and not all of Israel. We should interpret the word Israel to mean straight to the Creator. This means that in everything he does, he wants his work to be directly to the Creator and not for his own benefit. It is as we explained about the verse, and there shall be no foreign God in you, and you will not bow to a strange God, our sages said, which is the foreign God in man's body. It is the evil inclination. We should understand this. After all, the good inclination is also in a man's body, as it is written, for we are brothers, meaning the evil inclination and the good inclination are close to each other. One stands to one's right and the other stands to one's left, the evil inclination on the left and the good inclination on the right. Thus we see that the good inclination is also in man's body. Therefore, what does it mean that they said that the evil inclination is in man's body? We should interpret this according to our way. Evil inclination is concerned with and aspires for everything that it does to enter his body, that the intention will be entirely for his own benefit, which is regarded as into his own body. Conversely, the good inclination strives that all his actions will be outside his body. This is considered that his whole aspiration is to come to doing all his works for the Creator and not for his own benefit. By this we can interpret the word is to mean, yes, kill straight to the Creator, and all his actions will be only for the Creator. Similarly, it is presented in the interpretation of R. S.E.S. Lev said, the heart and the eye are two mediators of sin, as it is written, give me your heart, my son, and let your eyes delight in my ways. Said the Creator, if you give me your heart and eyes, I will know that you are mine. This means that when we say who chooses his people Israel, when is one regarded as belonging to the people of the Creator, it is when a person places his eyes and heart there, meaning that everything he looks at and what the heart craves, he tries to make it all in favor of the Creator and not for his own benefit. This is called you are mine, meaning you belong to me. Then he is included in his people, yes, straight to the Creator. Accordingly, we should interpret all of Israel have a part in the next world, and afterwards he interprets who is regarded as Isra and says that only one who keeps the covenant on which the world exists is called Israel. Otherwise, meaning one who does not keep the covenant by which the world exists does not belong to Israel but to the nations of the world. And what is the covenant by which the world exists? It is that he makes a covenant with the Creator that all his works will be only to benefit the Creator. This is called in order to bestow, for specifically by this there will be existence to the world. This means that the world was created in order to do good to his creations, and as long as there is no equivalence of form that the light and pleasure cannot clothe in creatures, follows that the whole creation of the world, which was in order to do good to his creations, was in vain, because there is no one to receive the delight and pleasure. However, through the covenant with the Creator, creatures will be fit to receive the delight and pleasure. In order to achieve the covenant, there is the Torah and the circumcision, meaning that in everything we do, we must intend that by this we will be rewarded with making a covenant with the Creator forever. Especially we must believe that the Creator hears the prayer of every mouth, and by this we will be saved. Thank you to the reader. I think that everyone it and absorbed something. How do we make a covenant with the Creator? Doing what he wants, trying to keep acts of bestow. Then we approach the Creator, we enter into connection with him, and we begin there to become children of Israel. What is the connection? How is the covenant with the Creator expressed? The covenant with the Creator, as it says you signed the covenant with him, means that as he's merciful, you're merciful, meaning you are trying to learn his qualities and resemble them. Another question between the three determinants are about in the article that he's as feeble as a female, or that does have the strength to overcome, or he's not even considered human, shifts him from having no powers to heaven, powers that he wants to come closer to. The Creator wants to reveal his deficiency where he is unlike the Creator, and he wished to correct that deficiency, the difference between himself and the Creator, and he wants to best the Creator the way the Creator from the beginning wanted to bestow to him what gives a person the strength to shift from having no strength to the having the strength to overcome from a female to a male, or a male they're attempting to do it, trying to do it. He wants to find such qualities that exist in the Creator and that he is longing, and he's asking the Creator to give him, and this is really our work. He mentions two covenants. One is the covenant of one is the circumcision. Can you explain? No, not more than what he said already. Hey, he writes feeling. When you have a feeling that the Creator can help you, it's already a CLA vessel. Yes, is it already something that's connected to the covenant, to your desire to be similar to the Creator or close to him? Yes. Yes, what's the difference between male and female in the work? She is grown weak as a female, that he wants to do something, perhaps, but he lacks the power to do it, and a male has the power, trying to come closer to the Creator using those powers, the power of the male in addition to the female, that is that he has the strength to ask of the Creator. Yes, that makes him a male. Yes, there's other things, but let's say for now, in other words, both understand, the male and the female, that he is powerless by himself, except a male also remembers that there's someone to ask for the strength. Yes. Ken, thank you very much. What does it mean to be wholehearted with the Creator? Whatever the Creator is asking for you, make it as your primary desire, meaning I have to constantly ask him to give me the strength of to bestow and love the way he gives us, likely. Yes, and stick to it all the time through the connection with the friends. Yes, all right, thank you. It is written, what can I do now since I cannot overcome my thoughts? It follows that he is regarded as working, serving the Creator, and he wants to overcome the alien thoughts, but he's considered as a female, meaning he's as feeble as a female. He doesn't have the strength to overcome. Seemingly a desire exists, but the ability to keep it lacks. You asking what, so you pray, you ask to have the how, but at least the desire is there. Of the three states he gives, one is that he doesn't feel the deficiency, as if he's not doing any work, so it splits into two. Either he does have the strength to overcome, or he doesn't have the strength to overcome. So does it come one after the other? That first there is no strength, and then there is the strength. It looks like it, yes, so you can't run away from it. There will always be a state where we are powerless, and we'll have to come to a state where we have the strength, typically. Yes, and how is this connected to the 10? What's the difference in the working the 10 and working on this strength? Each one in the 10 goes through these things until more or less everyone is experienced and they can understand one another, and then you connect something else. Maybe it's connected to it. He speaks about terms of faith above reason versus of bestow and work within work in order to bestow. How do they connect? What's the order? What's the relation between the three terms? Is tied to the transition from the will to receive to the will to bestow. That's in a person. We need to see how we're going through this with the style of each shall help his friend, and how much we invite those powers. We pray, we Ask, are they connected to each other? Concept, tied to each other, or they degrees they work in order to bestow? Of course there are. These are degrees, those are states. That's what he's telling you, even though after man finished the stages of the work 1, 2, and 3, he enters the quality of Shabbat. Can we say that second our face that he's as feeble as a female is what builds him a deficiency to turn to the Creator? Yes, he says during the labor and work he prays from the bottom of the heart that the Creator will help him, and he feels that without assistance from the Creator he will attain nothing. Yes, and that feeling that he has that the Creator can help him makes in a person a vessel. So basically all the times we try and don't succeed are for our sake, for our benefit. It gives us the feeling that we have no power to do anything and we have to turn to the Creator, let's say. So thank you in terms of adation with the Creator, which is preferable. This how is the state of male preferable to the state of female? If at all both became female as a female, that gives them a reason to pray. So he needs to have both qualities. These two qualities connect, and a person draws into him the upper force. Then he has a male baby born, so it takes both of them in the work. Yes, a statement person has the strength to overcome, but the Creator gives it to him such a way that he feels as though he himself is keeping it as if by his own strength. Yes, what's the right approach to it regarding the state of male? When I get the strength and I manage to overcome, still a matter of I have to add some additional submission. In this, what addition should add to it? He needs to bring forth a sacrifice, as we call it, if he thinks he can do it by himself. What does it mean? I have to bring a sacrifice. He has to come closer to the Creator, in the sense, if it's not me and it's not the might of my hand. So I have to add the awareness. Yes, and to add, how should I call it? Add what? Devotion. What? Subjugation. Subjugation. Thank you. It says there are two conditions here to be Israel, two covenants, the covenant with the and circumcision. What does that mean for us in the work? What should we make in order to be Israel? Why not those same two? What are those two for us? We work only with the power of connection between us. From the connection between us we go to connection with the Creator. And what does it mean to make a covenant? On this I wish to form a bond, a connection that will not change and will remain for eternity between us and the Creator. We in the 10, between the 10 and the Creator. Where is the covenant signed? Or maybe it's a person's in a work, it's in a work in each and everyone. But later it becomes more of a group work. It's a bit too early to explain it. We'll see it from the articles. Continue asking for more 6. If you can elaborate on what are the two covenants, what does it mean? What is the meaning of a circumcision, and what does it mean to make a covenant with? There are many covenant, it's not only those two, and we will learn about them. We will covenant of light again are all one. Good morning, dear Ram. It says here, how does an act of seemingly signing a contract help? What does this seemingly mean when we try to learn from the Creator all the qualities, all of his qualities that we reveal? He's merciful, you be merciful. He's compassionate, you be compassionate, so forth, and by that we come closer to him and we're capable of keeping the connection. Is no, is it a sort of acting us? So the covenant is more or less an act than it is really true. Covenant is the action of connection. Everything works according to the actions of connection between us and with the Creator. There's nothing more than that. So we have these actions that are called this way the covenant of the eyes, circumcision, covenant of the light. There are all kinds like that typically we don't use them, and how can we come, let's say, out of that state of seemingly how can we make it true that it really works for us, that is truly written on our hearts. This is the true state where a person agrees to enter connection with this, the special connection with the Creator called the covenant, and he tries to keep the covenant, to maintain it. The covenant is connection, is a form of connection. So we have several degrees in the connection. We can say the P of Adam with the P of the Creator, the points where they are connected. These two we'll learn about this, how to renew the covenant that was signed in a 10. Correctly, to renew the covenant is something we have to do daily, several times a day, whenever we feel that we are drifting apart or forgetting we harmed the covenant. Then we have to renew it. How can we keep the covenant? How do we strengthen it? In the work, in the T, we have to work on it constantly to have that same connection between us and the Creator. Hello, can hear you. Yes. No, what's up of them? He sent a question. I can tell you, but he'll hear me. He says that it's written that the Creator says, if you give me your heart and I'll know your mind. He says he really wants to give his heart and eyes to the Creator, but he can't, so he's asking, in that case, is my intention to give my heart and eyes to the Creator enough, or do I have to do it in practice? It doesn't have to do nothing in practice with his eyes and or anything. He needs to try and be even more connected with the friends, and then I would say automatically by himself he would raise himself in the society and everyone in the society to the degree of this covenant special degree, which is the complete signing of the covenant with the Creator. For good morning, friends, a question from a friend: what is the difference between the covenant with the Creator and the covenant with the friends in the tent? First, the covenant with the friends, and from that covenant we rise to the degree of the covenant with the Creator. Covenant is connection, first what is close to us, and later with the Creator, and certainly both of these are done by the Creator. He is bringing down the reforming light, and we connect. Good morning. Good morning seems like those who are not advancing correctly see in the work as trouble, and those who work correctly see in work labor. What should happen? So we change the terminology from effort to labor. That's along the way we try to give it more forces, more attention, and that's how we see what actually changes. He writes that in the work about reason we have 3 states: one who has no deficiency or has no strength, or that he does have the strength to overcome. In his state where he has no deficiency, even he gets his deficiency, he doesn't guard, and he has no room for prayer. So what does it depend? Person's ability to see his deficiencies according to how much he's connected to the friends and he feels through them. Good morning world. With your permission, writes about the 3rd stage, that he is when he becomes a man of war, meaning he can overcome his deficiency. He later details that Noah was wise and righteous in that he worked 6 days. On the 7th day he let the Creator complete what was Noah missing in order to attain the next world. I don't know why you asking me about Noah. Ask on point. What do we need in order to continue the work and be righteous and receive the 3rd phase, greater connection between us? Thank you very much. Of San 1. Shalom. Hello. Yesterday in the morning lesson there was an important discussion on urgent matters among the asked you, do the members of your 10 have a better chance to achieve spirituality than the rest of the T, and who is the most worthy of it? You answered that no one has an advantage before the Creator Yes, if among veteran friends such as N, and if they have such serious doubts and questions about continuing on the path, does that mean that the Creator is creating for us such states on purpose, so we can strengthen ourselves with faith above reason? Yes, of course, it all comes from the Creator, and the Creator awakens these questions in each one when the time is right and in the right way. MOS. For good morning H world. See, it is written the covenant in which the world stands, that covenant is not for us, it's in order to realize something, meaning we have to look at it more broadly, so our covenant will enable the world to exist more correctly, so the Creator can come to it. It's not for us, in other words, it's for creation. Yes, it is correct. None of the connections in general, none of the corrections happen to those who actually do the correction, but only those who depend on it. Good morning. In the present state I feel fear, because in everything I do I feel like I'm getting farther from the covenant. So the question is, how and what should I do in order to keep the covenant with the Creator or with my friends? You feel more discernment in your connection with a group and with a Creator, and that's why it seemed to you as if you are moving farther away, but it's only because you're adding discernments to the connection. So just keep going in. So okay, no such thing. Our work is in intentions. The entire work is in intentions. When I with my actions wish to reach, bestow to the Creator in practice, that's called the covenant. Want to reach this, bestow to the Creator in practice. It's just that it's written that the covenant with the Creator is when I direct all my actions for the Creator, is like some sort of some chimney. Some V lands on me, something that allows me to work for bestow. So what is it like in addition to maintain this degree of connection with the Creator through all the friends? Writes that the Shabbat is called a light that is suitable to fill the empty vessels that await the salvation of the Creator. What does it mean then to observe Shabbat? It means to prepare such vessels into which the light that belongs will enter. This is called he who labored on the eve of Shabbat will eat on Shabbat. So it turns out that the covenant allows us to have these vessels permanently, to be on Shabbat, to reach Shabbat in constant. Hello dear friends. Shabbat come after the 6,000 years. What will Shabbat come after the 6,000 years? Yes, it will be only Shabbat, Sabbath. The correction of the world will be such that all the states will be on the level or the degree of Shabbat day, which is entirely Shabbat. Nicely. Morning. What is the covenant of the Creator? What is his relation toward us in this covenant? That we will be on his degree, adhered to him, and in this we advance. Good morning. Our question is this: what is the difference between Israel and Israel who keep the covenant? Is there an Israel that doesn't keep the covenant? There's no such thing. Israel is those who are aimed straight at the Creator, otherwise they're not. So each and every person, regardless of who he is, if he acquires the intention to come closer to the Creator, to reveal the Creator he is called, are making the covenant. Should we say it in the mouth? And if so, is the beginning of the covenant in the 10? Of course, we need to reach the beginning of the covenant in the 10, and later between the 10s, and later around the whole world. Cab N. Thank you, Rob, and good morning. How do we come to achieve the state of being regarded as belonging to the people of the Creator? Eyes and hearts will work in favor of the Creator to connect between us and to establish the direction of our development straight toward the Creator. That's it. Good Warning. Why when a person fights against his evil inclination does he fall deeper into it? Gad is repeating the question, give him more and more negative discernment so we have the power to start climbing up from them, rising from them. That's the way, understand it in this situation. Yes, good morning. Tell me what causes the transition from phase 1 to phase 2, phase 2 to phase 3. When we approach the third phase, what helps their transition happen? We will feel it on ourselves. Now we need to delve deep into ourselves to feel that first discernment we might be in. The article says we have to believe and faith on this feeling. There's like we need a different explanation, a deeper explanation, and is connected to those discernments. This has to do with the feeling of the quality of faith in the Creator. For example, if you don't completely feel the Creator, how can you ask of Him? Therefore, that initial feeling, maybe it's weak, but it has to be present in the person nevertheless, and from there you develop it. So faith is my interaction. No, I don't think we need to. It's the second part already. Second, discernment. Okay, so wait one moment. Okay, you ask. Thank you. He writes here that the covenant is when we come to need the Creator, but then he says that I receive the covenant from the Creator by going above my reason. So basically the covenant is a deficiency. The covenant a deficiency for the Creator? I understand. No, it's not a deficiency. So what is the covenant connection with the Creator, and what am I supposed to do with it afterwards? Afterwards we'll reach afterwards, but the first stage is that you feel that you enter some kind of connection with the Creator. Can I ask another question? Yes, he writes about the 3 conditions for working above reason. What is the first moment when a person knows I went above reason? That he wants in any price to keep that connection with the Creator. Thank you, Z. That's it. No. What? On one hand, we know that there are 3 conditions to pray to the prayer. It's a very specific state that a person reaches prayer. On the other hand, he writes that the Creator hears the prayer of every mouth. How does that go? Hand in hand it goes. We advance and we'll see in what ways this expressed at every mouth. I just told you that we'll see. Good morning, RAV. I wanted to ask you, on one hand we build a covenant where we want to connect between us and to connect the Creator. On the other hand, we also make a covenant between us in the 10 in general to come to the lessons, to come to all the Zoom meetings. And the question is whether a state comes where a person can't come many times, not once or twice, but if this repeats itself a few times where you cannot keep that covenant, then how can this impact is the advancement of the 10? It really affects it. The 10 needs to search for a solution, a replacement. It's like in the army, a soldier falls in the battlefield, so you need to fill the department, but to do such a thing is not. It doesn't happen. Such a thing you don't do like that. The 10 where you fire someone, and if someone doesn't come, why not? If we feel that he doesn't keep the clear conditions, what is clear to all of us, and doesn't want to strengthen himself, doesn't want to hold on to our principles, so he tears the connection between us, and we have no choice but only to remove him outside of our circle of the 10. And is there such a matter that if there's a person like that, we just put him in the T, but we let him do whatever he wants? Or I don't understand. For example, if there's someone that doesn't come a lot of times to the lesson, let's say, so we never make room for him to stay with us once in a while. Come connect whenever you can. Is that right? All those are special cases that we can keep a person even though he doesn't fill all the conditions of a friend. Okay. Yes, K. Thank you. And this feeling that he has that the Creator can help him makes a person a CLE to receive the help from the Creator. Since the deficiency is called a CLE to receive the feeling upon this feeling that the Creator can help a person, does he need to work on this, or how do we come to that feeling? Whenever a person needs to work on it, he has to discover in him a deficiency for it, for the help of the Creator. Deficiency, yes, but the feeling that he can help, and only that the Creator can help. Let's connect it together. Thank you. Good day, our good day world. CLE, how do we know that we've entered the Sabbath, and what do we feel when we enter the Sabbath that's still far from us? I'm sorry to say that it's still far away from us. When we correct all the vessels, usually then we can reach a state called Shabbat. Our day, that is all Shabbat, is that when all the creating beings are towards the Creator. Yes, what is my covenant? Here you connect with everyone, and you want to discover between everyone that state called Shabbat. You talked a lot about the need, and I'm not to repeat all those words, but my question is, what do you advise to a friend that is in a very long period of time in a state of anything but leave, that he keeps going, keep going, continue? First of all, incorporate in a group and help everybody. Woman, sure, does the Creator give a person a state in which he has no deficiency? The Creator gives a person a state that he has no deficiency. In order for a person to ask, person can ask that he wants to come closer to the Creator, so it's clear that he needs a deficiency for it. In the entire article he describes in a very sensitive way this discussion above reason. We need to rise above reason to a man, and we talking about the evasion etc. Can we expand on the importance of the faith above reason in our advancement? After all, there's no other way. The way to the Creator is only in faith above reason. So how can we understand the importance of this? We have to find articles where he explains it, and there are many of them. From there you'll understand better. Bulgaria 1. Do we understand correctly that all the covenants were given to us so that we will want to serve the Creator, and it will be easier for us? Let's say the covenant of the eyes, the covenant of the tongue. Well thought of being easy to keep them. I don't know what to say, but we need to try that. They will all be revealed, and we'll know them in practice. Thank you. When is it permitted to stop the effort of keeping the covenant? Never. Never, but sometimes a person does what he can and adds even more and even more, and in the end there's no strength anymore. I don't know what you're talking about. I was answering your first question. You can never stop the covenant. You sign the covenant. It's forever. Noah can also ask a question. Please, how does a person accustom himself not to believe the parts in his desire and the picture of his reality, and gets used to it in the group, learns from the books and implements it in the connection? Women, Latin 24. What's the meaning of what the article talks about? The will to receive, not making an agreement, but rather it's a desire to bestow that defines it. Can yes, yep. What is its meaning? The meaning is that we have to try and give pleasure through our will to our Akar. Thank you. In the article it said it is written about Shabbat. All the judgments are impregnated by her, and none other govern all the world but her. What does this mean? What, there's a quote here. This is as it is written, the light in it reforms as it's written, and the in all the judgments they. Aries is asking, what is it? What's the meaning here? What it's written, that in the state that a person is in called Shabbat, so he feels that there's no judgment there. That's when we will get to it. We'll get into a state that we'll see that it's like. That is the level of patience to the evil a nation identical. For to everyone there's not something that is equal for everybody because each one is with his own nature, each one with their own nature. All right, let's what do we have except for this? We have the study of the Oran article of be, so we have time for both. Yes, so please, so before we move to the next part of the lesson we'll sing a song together. Me, fa, la la, 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 for, ka la 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 la, la 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 la, la. We are reading in the Study of the 10, Volume 2, Part 6, Item 15 above the words of the. Yes, Item 15. Then these lights from its down that rose in the place of the were there. As to the female, which are the tastes of sag, and through these man was the aforementioned coupling. Through this coupling they engendered a new light, and that new light descended and breached that par. This is so because above her in the place of there are now many lights, and the place does not have the strength to tolerate them. Thus the par was breached, and the light descends through there from tab down and filled that entire place that was empty of this newborn light. This is the meaning of the verse. In the draws from above and gives below. Again, we're continuing. We don't have an inner light for item 15, so we're going to continue to item 16. Item 16. The light that was initially below and ascended remained afterwards forever in the and did not come down into the. However, since they are up there and they are pressed there, they elicited branches from them through fine, and these are the nikim that expanded outside of a from the to the, and this is their essence. However, that new light that descended in its internality through the also breaches the vessel and the goof of and shines in these nick both through the holes in the hair as well as through the and there. It turns out that this new light breaches twice, once through the par and a second time through the walls of the vessels of the inner light of item 16. Breaches twice, once through the and a second time to the walls of the vessels of the first. Breaching was made for the of themselves because the limited and ended out of sag, so that no light descended from the par down any more, and the vessels of zonin these were empty of light now through the second coupling of a bag. This boundary of has been revoked, consequently the lights that are extended from this coupling expanded once again into the vessels of zon there. This is called the first breaching. The second breaching was made for the sake of the nikim, meaning through the and that these lights of zone of the inner shunta. The 10 Ophic. Item 17. From the words of the. However, the first light that was down in the beginning and then ascended did not ascend, did not descend. Again it remained there from the tab up, and placed its roots there for eternity. From there it expanded and went out through the and these are fike. It was extended and expanded from without until the of. Thus all the light extended through the tab, although it is from the phase of is all swallowed and incorporated in AIM. Hence it is indistinguishable. However, only the light that is extended below the tab to its reg is called as now it stands alone in a light. 17. The first light that was down in the beginning and then ascended did not descend. Again it has been clarified in the above item that through the coupling of ab and with sag the lower hay descended from the place of thebta, of which is the general pair of the and which is the general of then the with the which are of became one, by which of were extended to Like there rels us here that despite that the actual light of did not connect and join with there. Namely, it is written that the first light that was there did not descend. Again, it remained there from the tab up, even after the second. Coupling this occurred for two reasons. The first is that then Yester rejoined with the taste of sag into a single degree. It is so because the whole division of sag into two has two tastes regarded as of sag with the value of ab, and to which are the first light called yes, which was below the considered sag of sag. This entire division was because of the association of with phase 4. Hence now that phase 4 descended back to her place, there is no longer a difference between the tastes and yes, and they both return to the same degree as before. Second reason is the matter of cancelling the boundary of the which was only temporary. This is why it is called breaching. After the lights came down, it was immediately blocked once more, cannot descend below the par even after the descent of the lower hay from there, because she did not permanently descend from there. Because of this the passer remained with all its power and yes, remained permanently above the tobo, and only its illumination reaches the complete to complete the G of what is this concept of branches. Because what's the difference between the G begetting or another one? In the branches we have more details that are in the main. So what's the difference between gal beginning a b, or that the root remains and it gives birth to branches? The branches don't belong to the root so much or bestow to it. It comes out of the root. There's such a relation that they belong to the root, but they don't affect it or bestow to it, like as if they were in one. I didn't understand what the sun is influenced by father, what AB impacts the she can influence G because they belong to the same world, and the branches, what he says here, don't belong to the same kind. It's still branches. There's the branches and there's what gives birth to it, so the branch can't really affect the one who gave birth. He also says that the light remains above but the illumination moves down. So what does that mean? What it means we'll learn about it. What does it intend to say? The intention is that if there's a source to the light, so in that source the light exists, and in the rest if it appears, so it's just a small branch. That's it. Skip 18. Why we should be an 18. Okay, item 18. Also that light which descends once more through this above mentioned, coupling it to breaches the goof and the vessel of exits and shines in. These we have two kinds of light for the purpose of Nick 19. Item 19. There's yet another necessary third light. When the light of the descends through the it looks at these lights of it sucks from there and takes light for the purpose of making the vessels of it. Takes from three lights which are the lights and item 19 below in the inner light. It looks at these lights of etc. purpose of making the vessels of here. The speaks from the perspective of the 10 of you already know that because of the ascent of the elder was instant, divided into two phases, and if remained in the phase of and went out and became a goof and a vessel of reception of the light of the enim. It has been explained above that this great change did not actually occur in the of sag but in the branches that emerge of it, and only the phase of that exited and became the phase of goof and vessels for reception of the light of the. It is written when the light of the descends through the AIM, it looks at these lights of this means that the light of the N is imparted and clothes in the phase of ob below the N, because a look means bestow and reception, since these receive the light of the from above. Downward they exit the phase of and become the phase of goof. You already know that they are not of the s itself, but merely branches of it, called or the hair of the beard. These are also regarded as two phases because they necessarily have t as they are complete level, called the light of they two are divided into and like their root from which they emerged. Therefore there are three phases in them. The first is the in the place of their exit ein. They are called the tips of the hair under the side locks of the head on the right and on the left under the ears, through the angles and the cheeks below, from where the DNA the beard begins to broaden, and this is the phase often in the place of its exit. The phase of in the place of its exit is called the hair that surrounds the upper lip on the right and on the left. Of in the place of its exit is called a puff in the middle of the upper lip under the nose where there is no hair. All these three corrections of the are considered the phase of only in the phase of they are the first phase of the DNA. The second phase is the phase of a that went out from the of originally considered the phase of however they light of the and the rule for this light is to have only and in it are not in its but exit to the goof. From this perspective the second phase of the DNA is considered the phase of goof, and these external of are called this is the fourth correction of the which are the hair hanging in the middle of the lower lip. It is considered the place where the three corrections in the phase of are gathered, regarded as the of it is called the place of the gathering because this is the vessel of reception to the lights in the of everything in the which are in the place of its exit is imparted and gathered in this. The third phase of it is all the other corrections of DNA extending through the meaning through its completion. These are discerned as the actual it, meaning they are originally the phase of goof and vessels of reception. It is written when the light of the descends through the it looks at these three lights of this means that the light of the is imparted in the by which they become discerned as vessels receivers, by that they exit the phase of are to the phase of goof is written and takes light for the purpose of making the vessels of, in other words the vessels of nim that receive from them must also be as their attribute, as he will explain. Henceforth we can go to the next part. Okay, so we'll move to the next part of the lesson. Cod. We are reading the article by I am called righteous and wicked. This is from a manuscript that has never been published. You can find the study materials on system. You want to say something about it. Again, an article by Bassam from his manuscripts that came to us. You already checked it. We studied it in the past with you and we wanted to redo it to read some more texts and get some more discernment. Ooh, okay, righteous and wicked. So the article righteous and wicked, when a person becomes cleansed so as to adhere to the Creator, he is all to bestow and has nothing in him of the world to receive. How will he receive his abundance with which he wished to delight his creatures? For this reason the Creator imprinted within each person that he will consist of all the people in the world, that is the views and natures of all the people in the world will reign and unite in each person in the world, since the thoughts and views of people pass from one to the other. Therefore, once a person has been cleansed and becomes a complete righteous vita, he is connected to the wicked of the whole world, who impart upon him their will to receive against his will, and in evidently for this reason the righteous is ready to awaken with a desire and receive his the light, which is the purpose of heaven and Earth in this manner the righteous truly consists of sparks of souls of wicked and righteous from the whole world, from the past and from the future, after he corrects the souls of the righteous with whom he is included, and properly aid us through them, in order to both the souls of the wicked included in him begin to open their mouths and receive pleasures. At that time a person becomes a vessel to receive his delight, and he achieves his purpose, since he has a desire to bestow, which causes adhesion and equivalence of form, and he has a W to receive through the souls of the wicked included in him. This makes him a CLE to recite and abundance. Then souls of the righteous envy the actions of the wicked, since they see that the Creator's desire to the lightest creatures comes mainly through the actions of the wicked, for the actions of the righteous cause only which is the desire of the lower one, but the actions of the wicked cause the purpose of the Creator's will, namely to delight his creatures. However, in truth, souls of the wicked are unfit to hold the abundance they receive, since they connected to the righteous only in order to invoke in them the desire to receive his delight, while the righteous who have already been rewarded with him and a desire bestow gain twofold. Now they have, and they also receive his delight in order to bestow, which is mainly what is desired. He said that the righteous have already been fully completed through the wicked, and then all the souls of the wicked are taken off from the level of the righteous, since they can receive only for themselves and not in order to bestow as do the righteous. Again, questions. None, maybe read it again. Again, righteous and wicked. When a person becomes cleansed to adhere to the Creator, he is all to bestow and has nothing in him of the world to receive. How will he receive his abundance, with which he wished to delight his creatures? For this reason the Creator has imprinted within each person that he will consist of all the people in the world, that is, the views and natures of all the people in the world will reign and unite in each person in the world. Since the thoughts and views of people pass from one to the other, therefore once a person has been cleansed and becomes complete righteous, then too is connected to the wicked of the whole world, who impart upon him their will to receive against his will, and inadvertently. For this reason the righteous is ready to awaken with a desire and receive his delight, which is the purpose of heaven and earth. In this manner the righteous truly consists of sparks of souls of wicked and righteous from the whole world, from the past and from the future, after he corrects the souls of the righteous with whom he is included, and properly adheres through them, in order to both the souls of the wicked included in him begin to open their mouths and receive pleasures. At that time a person becomes a vessel to receive his delight, and he achieves this purpose, since he has a desire to bestow, which causes inequivalence of form, and he has a desire to receive through the souls of the wicked included in him. This makes him a CLE to receive his delight and abundance. Then the souls of the righteous envy the actions of the W, since they see that the Creator's desire to delight his creatures comes mainly through the actions of the wicked, for the actions of the righteous cause only which is the desire of the lower one, but the actions of the wicked cause the purpose of the Creator's will, namely to delight his creatures. However, in truth the souls of the wicked are unfit to hold the abundance they received, since they connected to the righteous only in order to evoke in them the desire to receive his delight, while the righteous who have already been rewarded with him and they desire to both gain twofold. Now they have and they also receive as the light, in order to bestow, which is mainly what is desired. He said that the righteous have already been fully completed through the wicked, and then all the souls of the wicked are taken off from the level of the righteous, since they can receive only for themselves and not in order to bestow as do the righteous can. Yes. Okay, can you hear? Mean there's an innovation here. That for an explanation, because we usually learn that the purpose of creation is to do good to his created beings, and it's expressed with ad is the essence of the purpose of creation. It's expressed in ad is yes, and here he explains that there's two kinds of things. First ad, and then using the righteous use the desire of the wicked pull the abundance, and the righteous keep the intention, and then you reach the purpose. So supposedly he divides a level of a D and a level of a higher one. So something that, well, where is it written that? You're kind of asking about it. He writes that there's a reward, two kinds of reward. First, the righteous reach at an, and then when they start using the sparks of the souls of the wicked and rich of the whole world, present, past, and future, and he corrects the righteous that are in him and aiders to them in order to be still. Then the souls of the wicked start opening their mouths and receive pleasures, and then a person becomes a vessel to receive the pleasures, and he reaches his purpose. That he's reaching it, and he has the W to receive with the souls of the wicked in him. He's then the souls of the righteous envy the actions of the wicked, since they see that the Creator's desire to delight his creatures comes mainly through the actions of the wicked, for the actions of the righteous cause only adhesion. So it's like the righteous only recus, and there's a higher degree above. So it's very different. What will you still learn till now? And since the righteous were already qualified in the work in this way, then all the souls of that of the wicked from the degree of the righteous, as they cannot just receive for themselves, but not in order to bestow as the deeds of the righteous. So it's like is a lesser degree. It's like an intermediate degree before the purpose of creation. Yes, and we always learned that is the final purpose, that it's the peak of our development. No, ad is the mean of reaching the final state. But he writes about us. We read about this not here, where he explains that there is where the internality of the is revealed, and a person becomes unperplexed, if you will, in yes, in the mat. So let's continue more, and we will see maybe there's two types of no, it can't be, it could be the same, but on higher levels we will see this. We'll see, guys, I don't have what to explain here. There isn't the it's. He writes we need to be impressed by it and to try to reveal. I don't have an extra part of the article translate until I find the link. It is explained knowing and choice that actually every created being must sin, as it's written, there is no righteous in the land who did not sin first, and every created being must repent. And the land was full of knowledge, but this is clarified through the reins of nature, between pleasure and bodily pain, that lead man to the place that his providence wanted him to, as it is written in the essence of religion and purpose. But there's also the path of Torah, people who can develop more on the way that it's written. He saw the righteous that they are you, so he placed them in every generation, and you have no generation, as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that they can give their wish to the masses that are developed, and passing this wisdom is called the path of Torah, meaning Torah given by heart, because the written Torah is also the Torah given by heart. Because of that, the masses that received through the righteous became worthy to reach the purpose of their development also, and their generation themselves, even though in private providence they commit to keep incarnating about 100 more generations before they get the law of development from the arms of nature, and all this time of suffering is considered a great reward for them if they keep the words of their sages, and it is considered great punishment if they do not keep it. That is the meaning by the heavens, meaning that they return and fall into the arms of nature because of the sins. This is the meaning that they keep connecting through the path of the Torah. It's also the secret of heaven and hell. That are the matters of cleansing the soul during the intermediate time from one body to the next incarnation, that for now receives a certain correction, so they all the matters and forces, good or evil, of what it did in its first incarnation, and that is a part of that we cannot interpret here. Yet read this piece again. This part isn't translated yet. I'm going to do it. Live the path of suffering is the private providence, and the path of Torah is the providence of reward and punishment. This explains the question of knowing and choosing, because every created being must sin, as it is written, there is no righteous in the land who is not has not sinned, and every created being must repent, as it is written, and no one is free from the work, and the earth is full of the knowledge. This necessity is clarified through the reigns of nature of pleasure and suffering, bodily pleasure and suffering that led a person to a place that providence once, as it was written in the article, the essence of religion and its purpose. But there's also the path of the Torah, people who are closer and more able to develop, as it is written, he saw that the righteous were few, so he planted them in every generation, and there is not a generation that doesn't have people as Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. They can pass from their own attainment to the masses who are undeveloped, and this passing is called the path of Torah, meaning there's Torah given by mouth, because the Torah in writing is also given by mouth. From this those masses who received from the righteous become worthy for their final purpose also in their own generation, even though that according to the order of private providence they must incarnate about 100 more generations before they receive that law of development from the arms of nature, and this time of suffering is considered a great reward for them if they keep their sages' words, is considered great punishment if they do not. This is the meaning of the death by heavens, meaning that they return and fall into the arms of nature because of their. This is the meaning of repenting through connecting to the path of the toe. This is also the secret of hell and heaven, that are the matters of cleansing the soul through the intermediate time between a body and the next incarnation, that for now receives a certain correction in order to be all the matters and good forces or evil forces of what she has done in the first incarnation, is an area in other that we will not explain here. All right, we will try to read this in some other states, and for the time being we will conclude. So we have a few announcements. Today, building a spiritual society, our weekly meeting of the life of updates of all kinds of processes in society and dissemination. Today 6:30 to 7:00 p.m. on the system, and our schedule for today: Sunday at 10 the news, at noon the noon lesson, 5:30 the program, the reading of the 10, and at 6:30 building the spiritual society. Will end with a song. 4 4 la 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 fa 4 la 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 I thank you, friends. I, O.